Hello and welcome to Pints and Quarts, a show presented by Craft Beer Nation. Today is July 9th, 2015. Our guest is Stewart Bowman. Stewart is the head brewer at BrewDog Brewery in Ellon, Scotland. There seems to be a lot of headlines surrounding BrewDog these last few weeks, and we will get to them in just a minute. So get your beer into a glass and get comfortable. In fact, now would be a perfect time to click subscribe on our YouTube, Stitcher, or iTunes channels.
Time now for a look back at the last week in the craft beer industry. Pour a cold one and sit back for an all-new episode of Pints and Quarts, presented by Craft Beer Nation.
All right, guys, we are back. We are live this evening. It is 9:30 on the East Coast in the U.S., which means we've got all our regulars. We've got Randy, Lola, Linda. Well, Linda, it's actually like lunchtime because she's in Oregon. Charles, Gil Mello, myself, Matt Miller. But we have the esteemed Stewart Bowman, who is up at, 30 in the morning over there. It is 2:30, I believe he said, standard time in Ellon, Scotland. So, Stewart, hello. Thank you for joining us at this odd.
Hey, thanks very much. Yeah, I appreciate your time. This is going to be fun. Looking forward to it.
Oh my!
I don't think Matt knows that he's muted.
And his light. Where did his lights go? His lights turned out.
He got dim.
Something happened with Matt's connection.
Well,
In the meantime and in between time, so Stewart, tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get involved with craft beer and to the point where you are right now?
Essentially, my craft beer journey started when I was studying brewing and distilling at Hangouts University in just outside Edinburgh in Scotland, and wanted to be in the beer industry. I think like a lot of prospective university students, it seems like a good place to be. But I always had a healthy interest in sciences and stuff like that, and it seemed like a fun profession. But then I really got my craft beer buzz essentially from a bottle of Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. That was my defining moment. That was my light bulb type of thing. And from there, graduated 2006 and started working for BrewDog very early on in 2008, basically about 6 months after they started, and yeah, never looked back.
So where are you from originally?
I grew up in the Highlands of Scotland, but originally I was born in Louisville, Kentucky.
What?
You're
bourbon.
I thought I heard that.
guys. You're American?
Okay.
Yep.
American.
Yep.
How did that happen? So get us there. Get us from here to there.
Let's go. Let's get in our TARDIS and go back in time.
Well, my mom was from Scotland, and she met a serviceman, got married, moved over to Kentucky, and yeah, me and my brother were born. I was 81, he was 84, and then we moved back to Scotland, I guess 87, 88, which is why most of the Kentucky drawl is gone. But if I have a few too many, especially whiskeys, especially bourbons, then the old drawls.
I want to hear it before we're out there.
That's awesome.
That Scottish Southern drawl.
No, it really confuses people.
That's pretty cool. So you've been with BrewDog since 2008, you said?
Since, joined 2nd of January 2008, so about 6 months after they started operations. And it's, started off in 2007 with the first beer in April, and it's been an incredible ride. It's a hell of a story.
Did you had a commercial brewery experience, or you went from home brewery to let's do that?
No, not really, man. I mean, I graduated from that brewing and distilling course in 2006, part of which is a 3-month placement. So I worked in a tiny little brewery in a small island off the coast of Sweden for a summer, essentially, and went over there. The guy was like, here's our brew house, these are the 2 beers that we do, knock yourself out, and learned so much within that 3 months, and yeah, caught the bug. And then as soon as I graduated, started looking around a couple of different places, and the one standout brewery certainly in Europe for me was BrewDog. I had some of their Punk IPA back in the day, and it blew my mind.
So so essentially you've been there for the whole ride, and you guys, BrewDog, you guys have a pretty set identity. So and I imagine a bit of that obviously it means a lot of risk taking. There had to have been some times there when you were like, "What the hell are we doing, man? Like, are we really about to do this?"
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about those risks that you guys take and the ambitious risks that you guys tend to embark upon?
It keeps us moving forward, to be honest. So we've never, driven by Martin and James, who are the two founding members of BrewDog. They started up, like I said, April 2007. They've never been ones to relax, rest on their laurels, to chill out, anything like that. They are 100 miles an hour all the time, and there are a lot of risks. There's a lot of moving very, very fast, but it keeps everybody on their toes, and it keeps the whole company very dynamic. We're always thinking, we're always moving, we're always changing, and it's an exciting place to be.
Awesome. Gotta respect that. No chance. You gotta take chances, man. And like you said, it keeps you on your toes. It ensures that you guys, maintain your spot and also your identity, as ambitious people.
Well, and you guys are moving to America. That's the exciting thing to us here.
Tell us about the plan in Ohio. Are you part of that plan, or are you they're just setting it up and taking the recipes?
It's all going to be BrewDog, and that's something that we were very, very determined on from the start of the whole project. We've always been very inspired by the craft beer scene in the States. It's arguably the most well developed and well matured market out there, and we've drawn an awful lot of inspiration from like Stone Brewing Company, Sierra Nevada, I've already mentioned. So we've always wanted to get in the ring over there, get over there, start to get our beers out on a little bit more of a level playing field. We've put beers out to America since probably the start of 2008, back in the early days, but our beer has to travel for 2 months before it gets out there and stuff like that. So it's something that will be good for the quality of the beer for us to get out there, and it's going to be fun. So we are looking at a site in Ohio. I believe it's about 20 miles outside Columbus. It's about 42 acres in total, and we're looking to build essentially a replica of what we have currently in Ellon, brewery-wise.
And what's that going to be? I mean, how big is the operation there in Ellon, I guess, is the starting question.
We, at the moment, run a 100 hectoliter brew house, which is 85 US barrels. I've got to do the conversion because we work metric, obviously, two different systems.
And the fermenters,
You work the right metric, the right measurement.
Thanks.
I don't even think barrels is standard, the standard weird thing. I think it's just Americans are stupid when it comes to that kind of stuff. But how many hectoliters, how many barrels of beer did you guys produce and ferment and distribute last year?
Last year we were about 8.9 million liters out the door, so packed. I had written this down somewhere, which is about 2.3 million US gallons. And then by the close of play this year, we're planning on somewhere in the region of 140,000 hectoliters, which is 120,000 US barrels.
Wow.
That's respectable.
Yeah.
Considering the first year of operation, which 2007 was only 6 months after all, we only did about 1,000 hectoliters, which is, what's that, 850 US barrels. So that scale of growth has just been.
So if you guys are ramping up to do 120,000 US barrels, I mean that's respectable, but I mean considering your popularity and considering like your position in the beer industry around the world, that's a relatively small amount, but yet you guys are still, I don't know how, like what do you attribute this to? The fact that you guys on a global scale produce not that much, but everybody knows BrewDog.
I think we've never been a company who is meek in any way, shape, or form. You know, we like to get out there and grab people by the collar and shake them around and say, you know, hey, you know, we're BrewDog. We make some amazing beer. You guys got to check this out. This is some really, really good stuff. So I think not just the quality of the beer that we put out, but also the way that we market ourselves, the way that we brand ourselves, our controversies. You know, we like to be a little bit controversial in quite a few things, and it all builds a picture, man. It all gets our name out there and promotes ourselves and ultimately craft beer as well.
And of course,
Does that mean that
Esquire doesn't hurt at all either, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
What a tiny TV show.
So,
Yeah,
so Stuart, does that mean you're aiming on shaking up the U.S. market, like you shake up the market where you are?
I think we wouldn't. I don't think we could ever go into the US and not do something like that. You know what I mean? We've always had a very, very big presence wherever we've gone. So I don't exactly know what the plans are in terms of how we want to enter the market, what we want to do. But I can tell you that when things take off, which should be around August next year, August 2016 is when we're hopefully going to get that plant live and in operation. You know, you'll know that we're there.
I don't know if you're allowed to mention this, but obviously Martin and James are really good friends with Greg from Stone. Yeah, and Stone was actually considering a spot in Columbus, Ohio, when they were looking to open the East Coast brewery. And I like to think that the headway they made in that state kind of paved the way a little bit for you guys to go there. Can you speak to any collaborations that you guys may have on deck or that you're thinking of, or is that something you want to keep a little close to your vest at the current time?
We don't have anything as far as we're on the cards to collaborate with Greg and the boys out at Stone, but we've had a really strong relationship with them since the early days, again, since like 2007, 2008. They all came across and brewed our first collaboration we brewed a collaboration with them called the Juxtaposition Black Pilsner. I want to say 2008, but I might be wrong with that. And then they came across to Scotland and brewed a beer called Basha with us in like 2008, 2009. So we like the Stone guys a lot. They're cool guys, and their work that they did in Columbus and mapping out the state and everything like that went a huge way towards where we sit with our project at the moment.
And do you think after the brewery's up and running and in production, any chance to expand the BrewDog bars into the U.S. market?
I think we'd like to. I think there's certainly a possibility for that. It's something for the future. You know, the brewery that we're going to build in Ohio is, like I said, it's going to be compatible to the brewery that we have currently in operation in Ellon, and it's going to have a bar, bistro, tap room attached to it. So I think that's going to be us testing the water in the US.
Sure. So Manhattan is a great place.
Yeah. So now that you guys are moving, I open a brewery here. Does your equity for Punks going to be available for US as well?
That's definitely something we want to do.
Maybe you should talk a little bit. What is Equity for Punks?
Equity for Punks is our crowdfunding scheme. It's something that we started off in back in, I guess, 2009. We had a lot of ambition. We had a lot of dreams. We wanted to go places. We wanted to go them. We wanted to go there fast. But we didn't really have the equity to do it, and it was very difficult to get money from the banks at the time and stuff like that. So we'd amassed a community of craft beer fans and craft beer lovers around us, and a logical extension from their enthusiasm and everything was, hey, like, invite them into the company, get them to buy shares, gives us some capital investment, allows us to grow our business, brings them into the fold, and it's really grown from there. And that's probably one of the biggest reasons that we've managed to grow the company with the speed that we have.
Well, in that case, it ought to grow tremendously if you're offering the American market that.
It is, most certainly. That's something we don't have it live at the moment. That's one of the things that we're trying to work out. Obviously, with the US having all the different state laws and everything like that, there's things that we need to look at a lot. But we have got a mailing list if anybody's interested in checking out if they want to get news updates. So it's on our website, and it's so BrewDog.com/equity for punks USA.
So, speaking of state laws, was there not like a big concern around that ABV cap that Ohio has? I mean, I think it's something like a 12% cap on the beer that you can make, or something along those lines. Because you guys are known for making the strongest beer in the world.
Yeah. I don't. That was probably taken into consideration with a lot of other things, but Ohio, in terms of like the craft beer scene that's there at the moment and stuff like that, and a lot of good tax incentives and things, it really was the place for us. It's an awesome distribution hub as well when you look at the location of Ohio and Columbus.
The group of Scotland punks are choosing locations based on tax incentives. That's
Well,
a lot of the high ABVs that they make can still be imported. I just see I see a lot of states only being able to get your dead pony in there.
Yeah, and anything over 12% is going to travel well. So it's not going to
Sure.
it's some of the lighter fare that you want to get fresh. I mean, it just takes so long.
Yeah, that's what we want to do.
If you want to brew a big beer, I have a 10-gallon mash tun here, so you guys can move your operations to the gym. We can.
Oh, whoa! If you want to go there, you know what? I have an entire brewery who would be happy to turn over one of their fermenters.
That sounds like fun. Brew pub operation.
There you go. Lola, you had something?
Yeah. All right. One of the things I love about the show, BrewDog, is that they go around our fine country and they find a lot of inspiration for their beers. And the first thing I thought of when I found out that you were coming to our country is, are you planning on incorporating any of our natural ingredients into your beers? Do you have any ideas for any beers you may create that are inspired by the U.S.?
Wow. I think, to be honest, a lot of the beers that we make at the moment are very, very inspired by the US. The vast majority of hops that we use in all of our beers is Yakima hops from Washington. So, that's always been a central part of all of our BrewDog beers. We use an awful lot of Simcoe, an awful lot of Citra, stuff like that. So it's something that, yeah, I mean, we'll look at some different recipes and stuff like that, and hopefully get something fun on the go, something local. It's always nice to go into a new scene and immerse yourself in it and use what's going on.
Ohio has the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You're welcome. I just gave you your first beer. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
You're very welcome.
Awesome.
A totally rockin' cinnamon IPA.
She wants
right
a cinnamon
there.
IPA.
There we go.
That's what Linda wants.
I totally want a cinnamon IPA, Stewart.
So,
Yeah.
Cleveland Rock and Roll Hall of Fame cinnamon IPA.
So basically, do you know which is the first beer? Is Punk IPA going to be your first beer brewed under here, since it's your flagship? Because you said about half of your production is Punk IPA. Is that what you said?
Yeah, correct. Fluctuates between about 51-52% of our total production is Punk IPA, because it's our flagship product. That's our beer that we've been brewing since back in 2007. It's the one beer that we have always hung our hats on, and it's what I'm drinking just now, actually.
That'd be a good way to that'd be a good way to dial in your the new brew system too, because you know exactly how that beer is supposed to be.
Yeah, right, exactly. And it's, Punk IPA is it's a very well balanced beer. It's very accessible, but at the same time, it doesn't compromise on intensity and depth and stuff like that. Like I said, it's got a lot of US hops in there: Simcoe, Chinook, Atanum, Amarillo, and also some Nelson Sauvin from New Zealand. So it's got a real kind of tropical fruit, citrus vibe going on. We got a little bit of caramel in there, gives it a nice kind of biscuity backbone, and we dry hop a lot of hops into that beer. A lot of hops.
Galaxy hops.
Those are good.
I already steer him into Mosaic. He said it doesn't work much with Mosaic, but we'll change that once he gets here.
Galaxy.
Yeah.
We'll corrupt him.
Absolutely. So it's sorry, go ahead.
No, so you guys just you got a I think it's a master cicerone or
You think?
something along those lines.
Yeah, we actually have two. We have James Watt, one of our founding members, company director, and also we just have newly qualified Rob Mackay. He just passed his Master Cicerone just basically, I think it was last week. He got the results through, which is absolutely incredible. It's I took a look at it as well, and it is probably the most daunting learning experience that anybody can immerse themselves in. It's incredible.
Wow.
I mean, how many people tested, and he was the only one to pass, right? I mean, so it's
it's
a big group of people that shoot at it. Yeah.
I can't remember what it is, but the pass rate is something like 5% or 10% or something like that. It's crazy.
Just so people have an idea. Like in Europe, they call the beer sommelier test and other places. And the Cicerone, the Master Cicerone, is probably by far the most difficult test when it comes to beer in the world. I mean, you need to know your stuff. Yeah. I mean, you need to. It smells like Simcoe here. That
They don't call it Master for nothing.
And it's not just about tasting the beer and being able to identify a hop flavor or identify something that's off, but it's about questions like
mechanics,
cleaning tap lines and everything. It's everything from soup to nuts as it relates to beer. So if you get one of those, you ain't no slouch.
Yeah, man. He put an awful lot of work into it, but it's a huge credit to him and a huge credit to his capacity for learning and everything. I'm honestly in awe. It's incredible.
Don't you have aren't you certified?
I got a certified Cicerone. Yeah.
Okay.
I set that I think it was last year, and it was a really fun course. It's amazing to go through a learning experience like that where it's not just technical, which is my background. There's beer styles, there's beer and food pairing, there's your draft systems and your processing ingredients and stuff like that. But it's, I thought I knew a lot about beer, but once I started studying that course, it opened my eyes a lot.
Yeah, you can't just glaze over the stuff you don't know. Like, oh, let's go into another subject. No, they want you to know it.
Yeah, very much so.
I think we have one of them. We talked with Whitty. Was it Ken Whitty?
Oh, from Boulevard.
From Boulevard.
We had him on the show, and we've got Nicole Ernie. So we love talking to the Master Cicerones. They know their stuff. It's fun to quiz them on things. So.
Yeah.
All right, we wanted to talk a little bit about some of the releases that were coming up. Before we did that, let's talk about what's in the tanks that's going to blow our minds, Stewart. From
you got anything mental?
Mental. One thing, we have just had our annual general meeting, our AGM that we hold once a year, where we invite our shareholders to come up to Aberdeen to hang out with us for a day, and we basically have what can only be described as a music/beer festival crossed with an AGM. So we have a little bit of business presentation and stuff like that, but generally we drink a lot of beer and listen to some music and have a lot of fun. And part of that was some collaborations that we did. So we lined up a beer that is, we haven't got a name for it yet, but it was brewed with Yusuf from Ballast Point.
Yeah, we know. We've had Yusuf on.
Yeah. So he came across from San Diego, and in true Ballast Point and Yusuf style, we wanted to.
He was there recently, right? It was not long ago he was there at the brewery.
Yeah, just 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, and he wanted to do something properly off the wall. So we decided to do a mezcal IPA. So you guys know mezcal, kind of like tequila, but very smoky. So we have designed this IPA base, brewed it, put an awful lot of agave syrup into it, try and get a little bit of that agave character. Sourced some worm salt, which I've actually written this down so I don't forget it, called Gusano. So
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
I was thinking about it.
So we started looking at it. But it's salt that's excreted by this worm that lives in the agave plant, and we're going to put that in the beer, and then we're going to age it part in Islay Scotch whiskey barrels. So that's where we're going to get that kind of smoky element from it.
So it's not for the vegans.
Well, I don't think Gasana is actually a salt. This is like, I think they dry powdered like this warm and make into that weird taste thing.
Yeah.
So it's adventurous.
Good
I
stuff.
like it.
It's
it's
adventurous.
awesome.
It's going to
That
be good.
makes tequila awesome.
So that's our fun thing that we've got on the go just now. We like to have a lot of different projects. We like to kind of mess around with stuff, push ourselves, and especially push people, people's perception of what beer is and what beer can be. You know, we've had a lot of fun over the years doing a lot of different things to really push people's minds and boundaries and whatnot.
So you're planning collabs with any other breweries in US just to kind of get the word out about yourself, or?
I'm sure we will. I think I'm sure when we go over there, we'll do some collaborations. Like I said, we've got very close ties with a lot of the kind of prominent players in the US craft scene. I don't know of anything that's active at the moment, but you know, with James and Martin being over there at the BrewDog show, they've made a lot of connections and drank some fantastic beers over there. So,
So you're going to be able to? Are you going to bring like a barrel aging system over here as well, or?
Very much so, yeah. I mean, we're at the stage right now where we are in Scotland. We want to really start pushing our barrel program. We want to start doing sour beers, but we kind of need a different site for that. So we've got a lot of ideas. We've also just recently signed a contract for our new craft distillery, which is going to be situated in Scotland. So we've got a variety of different stills, which will be coming over soon. We're going to set up and start our BrewDog Spirit range, which is immensely exciting as well.
All right, guys. Any other questions for Stewart? All right. Well, then let's move into talking about our other releases. It looks like New Belgium's got 2 beers coming out here. They've got the Eric's Ales Lips of Faith series of wood-aged sour peach ale. That's in the Bombers. It came out on the 6th of July. They've also got the Long Table Farmhouse Ale was out this week. I believe that's like the summer seasonal for them?
Yeah, it's the 6-pack.
Yeah. It's a 6-pack beer. Yeah, that's the summer seasonal. Coronado out in California has got the 19th anniversary Imperial IPA that comes out tomorrow. Jester King down in Texas has got Batch 3 Beer to Mill. It's an unspiced farmhouse ale. Comes out tomorrow. Green Flash in San Diego and I think Virginia Beach. I think they're brewing on the East Coast here now. They've got Natura Morta Plum. It's a Belgian-style saison aged in red wine barrels with plums. That sounds pretty awesome. And that's interesting because I don't usually get any of the barrel-aged stuff from Green Flash, so it's good to see some of that kind of stuff coming out. Firestone Walker has got Hell Dorado, a barrel-aged blonde barley wine that comes out on the 18th. Green Man in Asheville, North Carolina has got a re-release of Rainmaker, the double IPA, coming out at the end of the month. Avery in Boulder's got Il Dolia barrel-aged sour ale. No, that can't be right. A 44%. Oh, it's 44% aged in Madeira barrels. I was gonna say, hang on a second.
That's
31%. So
That's BrewDog style.
Yeah, that's mental. Is right. That's it's blended from a couple of different barrel-aged wine barrels. Then Santa Fe has got their Gold Session Ale. It's their new year-round product that comes out Saturday. I've seen stuff all over social media for that. Looks pretty good. Lancaster Brewing, and Lancaster's got a grapefruit cream ale. The cream ale is really under manufactured, so I'd be like to try it. Gil, have you tried that? I guess it comes out tomorrow.
No, it's come out tomorrow. I'm excited to look at it. I promised I want to go to the new Spring House Brewery, so I'm divided where to go tomorrow.
Well, you can hit them both. Or one tomorrow, one Saturday, one of those. Yeah. Tired Hands outside of Philly's got Alien Church IPA brewed with oats and hopped with Mosaic, Centennial, Citra, and Columbus. Mosaic being the one that's key for me. That sounds pretty good. Mothers out of Springfield, Missouri, has got Pink Thing Backyard Series. It's a cranberry hibiscus saison. Comes out.
That sounds good.
Yeah, cranberry hibiscus saison. All three of those things sound good to
They
me.
put a picture on the web. I mean, the color is just magnificent. The pink is the right name for that beer.
Yeah, is it pink like pink lemonade or is it red?
No, it's kind of a dark pink color. It's like
Beer
like
fest?
a
not quite as Randy's pink there, but yeah.
It's a luscious pink.
luscious
That's kind of pink.
Yeah,
This is
people, I'm
hot.
salivating here. Yeah.
Mm.
I got a lot of pink around
I'll put the picture on the community later on for people on the
That kind of pink.
on the show for people to see.
Good. That'll work. Festivals-wise, we'll kick right into these. Because Beer Craft Brew Festival in Hamilton, Ontario. Canada has beer festivals too, That is this weekend, tomorrow and Saturday. Seattle's International Beer Fest in Seattle, Washington is the weekend, tomorrow through Sunday. Ohio Brew Week Festival in Athens, Ohio, which is about 20 miles outside of Columbus. I don't know which direction outside of Columbus are you guys building, Stewart?
Well, I wish I could tell you that.
You don't know. All right. Well,
No, I don't know.
Athens is outside of Columbus, Ohio, as well, and their Ohio Brew Week Festival starts tomorrow and runs through next weekend. New York's Super Craft Beer Festival. I don't know what's so super about it, but it's New York's Super Craft Beer Festival in New York, on July 11th. New York is a big place. Charles, do you know anything about that?
No, I'm gonna have to look into that. That's this weekend, right?
That's Saturday the 11th. Yeah, and that's
I am going to be in the city this weekend, so I will have to see what I can find out about that.
And you need to tell us what's super about it.
I don't know.
Craft Beer
Apparently, they
Festival.
have their craft beer festival, so I guess this is the super one. I don't know.
Oh, this is just the competing thing. We're like, we gotta be better than them.
Probably.
So we're super craft. So the next one is the ultimate craft beer festival. Seven Sisters Fest in San Luis Bishop, California. That's on Saturday. America on Tap in Corpus Christi, Texas. I can get it out. That's on Saturday. Corvallis Craft Beer Picnic. That's in Corvallis, Oregon, on the 25th. That's coming up at the end of the month.
Which
Is
is
there
where
somebody?
our
I know
Fairland is
someone from Corvallis.
Somebody, yeah, it's at the Cornelius Orchards. Cornelius Orchard, which is really beautiful, and you can get more information by going to CorvallisCraftBeer.com.
Shameless
Corvallis
plug.
Craft Beer. No, it's not shameless. It's shameless.
You
Not
want more
shameless.
people
Shameless.
there. But some-
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah, that
likes
sounds
to
like a
drink
good time.
alone.
Well, I don't think you're going to if you're in Corvallis that weekend. So that's the 25th. And really, I'm trying to think. Oh, you know what? We wanted to talk a few minutes about the Craft by Under My Host. Is a magazine that Corey Page has got up. But I don't think they're printing anymore, right? It's all just an online magazine.
Yeah,
Somebody help me.
And they also it's an online magazine, and they also
Beautiful
have
graphics.
They also have a podcast as well.
Oh, is
That's
she back
pretty
to
good.
doing Under My Host?
I believe so.
Oh, yeah, I knew she took a little break from it. But the Under My Host podcast is really cool. So Corey Page is a friend of the show and a friend to many of us around here. She's got a magazine, an online magazine at craftbyundermyhost.com. And we're going to have to get her on the show one of these days. I know we're booked pretty well through the fall, but we need to squeeze Corey in here and talk about her magazine. It's pretty cool. And like Gil said, the graphics are really well done. They're graphic designers. It's so easy to look at, and the
That's how
articles
online
flow.
magazine should be done. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely a clinic on how to do an online magazine. Well, I guess we're going to wrap things up. We're going to thank Stewart for coming on at the ungodly hour. I don't even want to try. Oh, look, he's got a beer in his hand. So
Yeah, it's all
Right
good,
there,
man.
right?
There's
So-
a craft
I'll send
brew
a message out
monster.
to James and Martin. Stewart is not coming in at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, so he's earned the right to sleep in a little bit.
As long as the baby lets him sleep in.
Yeah, I haven't heard any screaming, so everybody's all right there.
He's very quiet right now.
Stewart is proving for us that it's Friday somewhere.
It is.
It always is.
Yeah, it's Friday somewhere, everybody.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for your talents, man. We love the beer you guys make. So keep making that. We'll keep drinking it. So that's good. So until next week, I'm not sure who our guest is because I never think to look forward to that until we get to the very end of the show. But we'll be back next Thursday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern with another episode of Pints and Quarts presented by Craft Beer Nation. Until then, everybody, cheers. Mind those P's and Q's.